For part 1 and 2, you're going to have to go to YouTube on the Heavens to Light 2. TikTok keeps on removing them. And I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, 3 unclean spirits like frogs, because there are 3. I explained before, King Charles is the red dragon. This is their crest. Better known as the District of Columbia. King Charles, London, the dragon. The beast, Obama, Washington, D.C. The false prophet, Francis, Rome. The 3 cities that run the world. Then I saw the evil creature gathering the governments of the world and their armies to fight against the one sitting on the throne of his army. And the evil creature was captured, and with him the false prophet, who could do mighty miracles when the evil creature was present. Miracles that deceive all who accepted the evil creature's mark and who worship his statue. Both of them, the evil creature and his false prophets, were thrown alive into the lake of fire. In Brazil, they had commissioned a statue of King Charles. It is referred to as Prince Charles as the savior of the world. And they're going to make a larger one that they're going to put on top of a mount. So that will be his statue, and he's saving the world, so-called saving the world. According to Charles, the earth does not belong to us. In Genesis, we were given dominion of the earth. Instead, he says that we belong to the earth. Lies. Because the earth is just another name for the fertility goddess Gaia, meaning that she has dominion over men. The worship of the creation instead of the creator. Then I saw a pale green horse. Its rider was named Death, and Death's kingdom followed close behind. COP28, their logo. You see the sun right above, the sun worship. And that is the fertility goddess and the rider of the white horse. Pale green. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travails upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Peace and security. And he's also involved? Well, of course, Francis is. The false prophet. Francis urges world's religions to unite against environmental devastation. Dubai, December 3rd. The Pope says Earth needs a Sabbath. So now we're going to give a Sabbath to Gaia. The Pope, environment, and the Sunday law. Through our sister, Mother Earth, who sustains and governs us, Francis. The time to find global solution is running out. The Earth is protesting from the wrongs that we are doing to her because of the irresponsibility, use, and abuse of the goods that God has placed on her. Sunday, the mark of the Pope's authority. Sunday is a mark of authority. The Roman Catholic Church is above the Bible, and this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that fact. So they want to make it a global Sabbath day for the earth. So Gaia is the God that they're going to give us at the end of times. Gaia is the fertility goddess. The smoke of their torture rises forever and ever, and they will have no relief day or night. For they have worshipped the creature and his statue, and have been tattooed with the code of his name. And by the way, that's a quantum tattoo. We are carbon beings, 6 neutrons, 6 protons, and 6 electrons. That makes man, carbon. And they're trying to do what? Reduce the carbon footprint, right? In other words, depopulation. Man was given a number. Without it, you couldn't buy or sell. Well, we were given a social security number and a birth certificate. They all go back to the Bank of England and to Rome. So the old contracts are breaking because the time of captivity is spin up. So the new one are going to be implanted into the body through AI. So when we fell into captivity, we became what? Bond servants. And anybody that joined us in Babylon, America, also became bond servants. In fact, we are bought and sold in the New York Stock Exchange. Liberty in Gematria. Ritual sacrifice, blasphemy. Satan, Lucifer, God. And by the way, that's Barack Obama. Enlil was the god of the sky and the earth and the father of the moon, God Sin. Nana, and the grandfather of the great goddess Ishtar. I am Enlil, hate human race. For those that keep on following the Anunnakis and think they're your friends. And beautiful angel, wasn't Lucifer considered a beautiful angel? The Nephilims, the Anunnaki, Enki, and Enlil. He will gain control of the treasures of gold and silver and all the riches of Egypt. Vatican owns all world currencies. Babylonian money magic slave system. So we're going from the old system to the new system. which is cryptocurrency, the new slave system. Another time when he appeared to them, they asked him, Lord, are you going to free Israel from Rome now and restore it to us as an independent nation? I also want you to keep in mind that we're indebted to China. And they're here. They're in America. Who leads into captivity, and to captivity should go.
Their heads. Okay, on this statue. And the statue is naked and dressed only in a loincloth, just a loincloth, and it has Prince Charles' head. And here's the thing, it has outspreading wings like he's an angelic figure. Okay? So they're depicting Prince Charles as in an angelic sense, dressed only in a loincloth, as savior of the world. Okay, environmental savior of the world. So they think they're going to save the world by doing this stuff in relation to the environment. COP21, which was held in Paris, France, had the largest gathering of global leadership at one place at one time in the whole history of the world, ever. That we know of since the flood, ever. Maybe ever, period. They had 150 plus heads of state at that event, 190 plus world leaders. And when I say heads of state, I mean presidents, prime ministers, the very top people of those nations. You would think that since France hosted it, that it would have been France's president who would have opened the event, maybe given the first speech. Or if not him, then someone like Al Gore, since, well, right, everybody talks about Al Gore. But who was it? No, it was Prince Charles. He opened the whole event. He gave the first speech before all of those world leaders. COP26, who was it? That was held in England, well, the United Kingdom, I should say. It was Prince Charles. Opened it, gave the first speech, same thing all over again. So now this is all being driven through the World Economic Forum and other entities in a more formal, direct way.
Now, I want to go back to that statue, though. When Prince Charles saw the statue, what did he say? Because that's a smaller version.
Yeah, there were two versions of the statue that were commissioned. A miniature version, which the BBC photographed. So those photos will be shown in the book. The same thing as the large version, except that the large version, potentially, and I point this out in the second edition of the book, is 10 cubits in height. Why is that significant? Because the two angelic statues that went on either side of the Ark of the
prisons under Wall Street, where they would keep the Africans, and when it was time to bring them up, you see where they have the stock exchange? And their exchange, that's where they used to sell us. Right there on Wall Street. And we built the wall. The Dutch. Now you hear, what do they sell? What do they trade on Wall Street? Stocks and bonds. Where did that word come from? Stocks and bonds. Livestock in bondage. Now they say stocks and bonds. But the real word is livestock because we were livestock. They counted us with the cows and the sheep.
If you were born between 1933 and 1975, you were bonded for $630,000 and insured for $1 million. If you were born after 1975, you were bonded for $1 million and insured for $2 million. The Sesta-QB Trust is an individual trust underneath the umbrella of the Public Charitable Trust. So the Public Charitable Trust Act of 1882 created the Public Charitable Trust. The Sesta-QB Trust Act created the Sesta-QB Trust, each individual trust that you all have through your birth certificate and registration. On your birth certificate, there's a bank name. It's on bond paper. There's a CUSIP number, CUSIP number. What is a CUSIP number? It's an investment control number that's regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Just going to use the figures from 75 to now because it's round numbers. We were bonded for $1 million. What does that mean? That means the bank went to the International Monetary Fund, and the bank, on behalf of the public under your CUSIP number, borrowed from the International Monetary Fund $1 million in ones, fives, tens, 20s, 50s, hundreds, and they threw it out there into the general public. They distributed that $1 million to the bank for every person who's born. That's what they do. On the credit side, $1 million worth of United States Treasury bonds are issued. And there's credit side, $1 million worth of United States Treasury bonds are issued, and they're sold. They're hypothecated. They're bundled, and they're sold on the stock exchange. And if we wanted to, I could pull up a website if we had internet access, and I could put in one of your CUSIP numbers, and I could show you the companies that are buying and selling you today. You have more than one CUSIP number, by the way. As we increase in value, I'll just put it that way, as we get better in our life, the more we join the military or get more college degrees, we get more and more CUSIP numbers. You are the credit. You are the creditor. They're making you believe you're also the debtor, and you are. You're both. This is your vessel. This is you. Okay? This is your labor. This is your worth. I got 5 college degrees. Every time I got an advanced degree in college, I got a new CUSIP number. It's in the military, I got a new CUSIP number. All these CUSIP numbers are attached to my main birth number. Okay? This isn't a bad spot. Anyway, let's stop here. It's a balance sheet, right? It's balanced. It's got $1 million on one side, $1 million on the other. This gets invested. It keeps growing and growing and growing. And let's just say it grows to $100 million. And by the way, that figure's low. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I've seen individuals worth $35 billion or more that didn't know they had a dime. Okay? It keeps growing and growing and growing. Our first 18 years of life, we're not spending anything. So nothing is going over here, our first 18 years. That's growing and growing and growing for 18 years, and it's being hypothecated and traded. They've done a good job of managing it. They really have. First 18 years, it's growing and growing and growing. You're not spending anything. You're not adding anything to the debit side. Then you go get a job, and you get married, and you go out and you buy a house. I'm just going to use numbers. And the numbers themselves don't matter. It's the concept. Okay. You buy a car or two. You buy some utilities or two over your lifetime, some medical bills, some food, whatever. They keep track of it all for your tax returns, your credit card, your bank statements. Banking is all tied into the IMF, the Federal Reserve. We've got a big buildings of bean counters called the Department of Fiscal Services, and those accountants just keep track of everything, everybody's life. And this all starts to add up on the debit side, and this just keeps growing and growing and growing on the investment side. At some point in time, you die, and it goes through probate. They take some of this, and let's just say over your lifetime you've spent, I'm going to round it off to $10 million. So they subtract $10 million out of your investment, and they pay off all this, and it becomes a zero balance. They even pay back the initial loan to the International Monetary Fund, plus interest. That was a loan from a foreign entity, by the way, to the Public Charitable Trust. And they pay it back. The balance is zero. Now this has, let's just say for this discussion, has $90 million left in it. What happens to it? The Sesta QV Trust lives on in perpetuity forever. Everyone who has ever died since 1933 is currently funding government. This money gets reinvested. They can't take this, but the balance must stay the same forever. But if it keeps earning, they just sweep it off the top, and it funds government. It's called off-book funds. In the States, it's GSA, and in the federal government, it's CQV. And it continues to fund government. Why do you think they don't care if they spend $3 trillion on foreign entities? It came out of your trusts. It's not part of taxes.
Will summarize your life. I will speak slowly, so your mind and your soul will understand. Number 1, you were born in a cold prison. It is your country, your state. Number 2, you have to pay for the prison stay. They call the prison fee taxes. Number 3, you have no say what will be done with the money, but you have to pay. Number 4, to pay the money, you have to work. The prison encourages you to buy new shiny products, so you feel better about your poor existence. Number 5, you are not allowed to exit the prison and live on your own. They will hunt you and make you pay. Number 6, only a few prisoners have walked far enough to see the prison wall. Number 7, the prison gives you news and entertainment so that you don't discover the prison walls. Number 8, the prison does not allow strong family bonds or strong brotherhood unless you are a part of the group that is running the prison. Number 9, the prison you live in wants you weak, sick, and divided, because weak prisoners can't climb the walls.